Welcome to Speak Forward English, where we help you master the language with confidence.
Hey there, welcome back to Speak Forward English. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jack. Thanks so much for joining us today, everyone.
So, before we dive into today's topic, if you're new here or if you've been listening for a while, please don't forget to subscribe. We put out new content every single day to help you improve your English listening skills.
Absolutely. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. All right, so today we're tackling something really important, something that a lot of people struggle to talk about, even in their native language.
That's right. We're going to talk about depression, specifically how to discuss it in English. This is a sensitive topic, but it's so crucial to know how to express yourself or support someone else who might be going through it.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons people avoid talking about it is because they don't know the right words or they're worried about saying the wrong thing.
Exactly. So we're going to break it down today, give you lots of examples, and hopefully make you feel more comfortable with this conversation.
Though I have to say, it's not the easiest topic, right?
No, definitely not. But that's exactly why we need to talk about it. So let's start with the basics. When someone is feeling depressed, they might use different phrases to describe what they're going through.
Right. For instance, someone might say, I've been feeling really down lately. That's a pretty common way to express it without using the word depression directly.
Feeling down is gentle. It's not too heavy. Like, imagine your friend says to you, "Hey, I've been feeling really down for the past few weeks. I just don't have energy for anything."
Yeah, and if you wanted to respond to that, you might say something like, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about what's been going on?
Perfect. That's supportive without being pushy. Another phrase people use is, "I'm going through a rough patch."
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Going through a rough patch suggests that this is temporary, like a difficult period in life.
Right. So someone might say, "Work has been really stressful and I'm going through a rough patch right now. Everything just feels overwhelming."
And if they use the word overwhelming, that's a big clue that they're struggling. Overwhelming means it feels like too much to handle.
Absolutely. You might also hear someone say, "I feel like I'm drowning," or "I'm barely keeping my head above water."
Those are metaphors, obviously. Nobody's actually drowning, but it describes that feeling of being consumed by negative emotions or stress.
Exactly. Like between work, family responsibilities, and everything else, I feel like I'm drowning. I can't seem to catch a break.
hmm And catch a break means to get some relief or a moment of peace.
Right. Now, when someone is ready to be more direct, they might say, "I think I'm depressed," or "I've been struggling with depression."
Yeah, and that takes courage to say out loud. If someone confides in you like that, the worst thing you can do is dismiss it or minimize their feelings.
Oh, absolutely. Don't say things like, "Oh, you'll be fine," or "Just cheer up," or "Other people have it worse."
Yeah, those responses, even though they might come from a good place, they can make the person feel like their feelings aren't valid.
Exactly. Instead, you want to validate what they're feeling. You could say something like, "Thank you for telling me. That must be really hard. I'm here for you."
Perfect. Simple but effective. You're acknowledging their struggle and offering support.
Right. Another important phrase is, "I'm here to listen if you want to talk." You're not forcing them to open up, but you're making it clear that the door is open.
Yeah, and sometimes people don't want advice. They just want someone to listen to them.
So you might say something like, "I'm not sure what to say, but I'm here to listen whenever you need me."
That's honest. It shows you care even if you don't have all the answers.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some of the symptoms or experiences people might describe when they're dealing with depression.
Okay, yeah. So, one common thing is losing interest in activities they used to enjoy. Someone might say, I used to love painting, but lately I just don't have any interest in it anymore.
Right. Or nothing seems fun anymore. Or I feel numb.
Feeling numb is when you don't really feel anything, not happy, not sad, just kind of empty.
Yeah, someone might say, I don't feel sad exactly, I just feel numb, like I'm going through the motions but not really living.
That's a powerful way to describe it. Going through the motions means doing things mechanically without any real engagement or feeling.
Exactly. Another symptom is changes in sleep. Someone might say, I've been sleeping all the time, or the opposite. I can't sleep at night. I just lie awake for hours.
Yeah, both insomnia and oversleeping can be signs of depression. You might hear, I'm exhausted all the time, no matter how much I sleep.
Or I have no energy to do anything. Even simple tasks feel impossible.
Like, imagine someone saying, I know I need to do laundry and clean my apartment, but I just can't bring myself to do it. It feels like climbing a mountain.
Exactly. And that's not laziness, that's a symptom of depression. The person isn't choosing to feel this way.
Right. Another thing people might mention is changes in appetite. I've lost my appetite completely, or I've been eating way more than usual. I think it's emotional eating.
Yeah, emotional eating is when you eat not because you're hungry, but to cope with difficult emotions.
hmm People might also talk about feelings of worthlessness or guilt. Someone might say, I feel like I'm a burden to everyone around me.
Oh, that's a really painful one. If someone says that to you, it's important to reassure them. You could say, You're not a burden. I care about you and I want to support you.
Absolutely. Or they might say, I feel like I'm failing at everything, or I'm not good enough.
Right. Those are signs of really negative self-talk. And again, you want to be supportive. You might say, I know it feels that way right now, but that's not true. You're doing the best you can.
Yeah, though I know it's hard to accept those words when you're in that headspace.
It is, but hearing it can still help, even if the person doesn't believe it right away. Now, let's talk about encouraging someone to seek help.
Okay, yeah, this is tricky because you don't want to sound pushy, but sometimes people need that gentle nudge.
Right. You might say something like, Have you thought about talking to a therapist? I think it could really help.
Or, I know it might seem scary, but there are professionals who are trained to help with what you're going through.
Exactly. You could also offer to help them find resources, like, Would you like me to help you look for a therapist in the area?
Yeah, sometimes just having someone to help with that first step makes it less overwhelming. You might say, I can come with you to your first appointment if that would make you feel more comfortable.
That's really supportive. Now, another important thing is checking in regularly. Don't just have one conversation and then forget about it.
Right. Consistency matters. You might text them and say, hey, just wanted to check in and see how you're doing today.
Or, I've been thinking about you. Want to grab coffee and chat? Just small gestures to show you care.
Mm-hmm. Now what if you're the one experiencing depression and you need to talk about it to someone? How do you start that conversation?
That's a great question. It can be really hard to open up, especially if you're worried about being judged or misunderstood.
Yeah. One way to start is being honest about your hesitation. You could say, this is really hard for me to talk about, but I've been struggling and I think I need help.
That's good. Or, I've been feeling really low lately and I wanted to talk to someone I trust about it.
Right. You can also be specific about what you need. Like, I don't need you to fix anything. I just need someone to listen right now.
Exactly. Setting those expectations helps the other person know how to support you.
Yeah. And if you're talking to a doctor or a therapist, you might say, I think I've been experiencing symptoms of depression. I've been feeling hopeless. I have lost interest in things I used to enjoy, and I'm having trouble sleeping.
Being specific about your symptoms helps them understand what you're going through. You might also mention how long it's been happening. This has been going on for about 2 months now.
Right. Because sometimes people have a bad week or two, but clinical depression usually lasts longer than that.
Exactly. Though I should say, if you're feeling really bad, don't wait for a certain amount of time to pass before seeking help.
Oh, absolutely. If you're in crisis or having thoughts of self-harm, you need to reach out immediately. In the US, you can call or text 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Yes, that's so important. And if you're supporting someone who mentions thoughts of self-harm, take it seriously. Don't be afraid to ask directly, are you thinking about hurting yourself?
Yeah, asking that question doesn't plant the idea in their head. It actually shows that you're taking their pain seriously and that it's okay to talk about it.
Right. And if they say yes, help them get immediate help. You might say, I'm really worried about you. Let's call a crisis line together. Or, can I take you to the emergency room?
It's better to be overly cautious than to ignore warning signs.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about some phrases that are helpful when you're supporting someone over time.
Okay, yeah, so recovery isn't linear. Someone might have good days and bad days.
Right. So you might say, I know today is a tough day. Remember that you've had better days before and you'll have them again.
That's encouraging without dismissing their current struggle. You could also say, I'm proud of you for getting out of bed today, or I know that took a lot of strength.
Yeah, celebrating small victories is important. When you're depressed, even basic tasks can feel monumental.
Absolutely. You might also remind them recovery takes time. Be patient with yourself.
Or, it's okay to have setbacks. That doesn't mean you're not making progress.
Those affirmations can really help someone who's being hard on themselves.
Right. Now, what are some phrases to avoid? We touched on this earlier, but let's be more specific.
Okay, so don't say just think positive, or you just need to exercise more, or have you tried yoga?
Yeah, exercise and yoga can be helpful as part of treatment, but they're not a cure for depression.
Right. And suggesting those things can make it sound like you think the person isn't trying hard enough.
Exactly. Also, avoid saying, I know exactly how you feel, unless you've actually experienced depression yourself.
Yeah, even then, everyone's experience is different. It's better to say, I can't fully understand what you're going through, but I want to try.
That's more honest and humble. Also, don't say, snap out of it, or it's all in your head.
Those are terrible. Depression is a real medical condition. It's not something someone can just decide to stop having.
Right. And don't compare their situation to others. At least you have a job, or at least you have a family. Those kinds of statements aren't helpful.
Yeah, depression doesn't care about your circumstances. Anyone can experience it.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about some vocabulary related to treatment and recovery.
Okay, so someone might say, I'm seeing a therapist, or I'm in therapy.
Right. Therapy or counseling is when you talk to a mental health professional about your feelings and experiences.
There are different types too. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is really common for treating depression.
Right. Someone might also say, my doctor prescribed antidepressants, or I'm on medication for depression.
Yeah, and there's no shame in that. Medication can be really helpful for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Someone might also talk about coping mechanisms or coping strategies. Those are ways they manage their symptoms.
Right. Like, journaling has become one of my main coping mechanisms, or I've found that going for walks helps me cope.
Exactly. You might also hear about support groups. That's when people with similar experiences meet to share and support each other.
Yeah. Someone might say, I joined a depression support group, and it's been really helpful to talk to others who understand.
There's something powerful about knowing you're not alone.
Absolutely. Now, what about talking about progress or improvement?
Good question. Someone might say, I'm doing a bit better, or I've been having more good days than bad days lately.
Right. Or, therapy has been helping me understand my thought patterns.
Yeah, or the medication has started to kick in and I'm feeling a bit more like myself.
Kick in means to start working or taking effect.
Right. Someone might also say, I'm learning to manage my symptoms better, or I'm developing healthier habits.
Exactly. Recovery is often about learning new skills and patterns.
And it's okay to acknowledge that it's hard. Someone might say, recovery is tough, but I'm committed to it.
Yeah, or some days are still really hard, but I'm making progress.
Right. And if you're supporting someone through recovery, you might say, I'm so glad you're getting help. How can I support you?
That's perfect because it asks them what they need rather than assuming.
Exactly. Everyone's needs are different.
Absolutely. All right, before we wrap up, let's do a quick role play to show how a conversation about depression might go.
Okay, great idea. So I'll be someone who's struggling and you can be the supportive friend.
Got it. Okay, you start.
Hey, I've been meaning to talk to you about something. I've been feeling really down lately, like for a few weeks now, and I don't know what to do about it.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you for telling me. What's been going on? Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know. Everything just feels heavy. I'm tired all the time, even when I sleep a lot. And things I used to enjoy, like reading or hanging out with friends, I just don't care about them anymore.
That sounds really hard. Have you felt like this before, or is this new for you?
I mean, I've had bad days, but this feels different. It's lasted so long, and it's affecting everything, my work, my relationships, everything.
It sounds like it's really impacting your life. Have you thought about talking to a therapist or a doctor about this?
I've thought about it, but I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm just being dramatic or making a big deal out of nothing.
Hey, your feelings are valid. If this is affecting your daily life and lasting this long, it's worth getting help. You're not being dramatic.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm just nervous about it.
That's completely understandable. Would you like me to help you find a therapist? I can look up some options in the area and we can go through them together.
Yeah, actually, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Of course. And hey, I'm here for you, okay? You can talk to me anytime you need to.
Thanks. That means a lot.
All right, great example. That showed a lot of the phrases and approaches we talked about today.
Yeah, I think so. The key things were validating feelings, offering specific help, and being consistent in support.
Exactly. And remember, everyone, if you or someone you know is struggling with depression, it's so important to reach out for help.
Absolutely. Whether that's talking to a trusted friend, seeing a therapist, or calling a crisis line, help is available.
And hopefully, today's conversation gave you the language tools to have these important discussions in English.
Right. Don't forget to subscribe to Daily English Listening.